Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is the truth about the Midtown Manhattan mass shooting. Um, and when it comes to talking about the truth about the Midtown Manhattan shooting, what I'll talk about for this video is two things. First and foremost, I'll talk about how it's being used as something to push an agenda, and also secondly, to end this off, how we can resolve this gun control or gun issue for that matter in general, whatever I say, gun or gun control issue for good, okay, by giving a solution to it. And since um that is what we'll be discussing for this video, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to discuss when it comes to this mass shooting is obviously the truth about it is that this mass shooting, like a lot of tragedies, by politicians, is being used as a way to push an agenda, and that agenda is, simply put it, is to push for gun control. Okay, because to put it bluntly, a lot of liberals are, you know to be honest with you, even from perspective of a left wing person, are fucking stupid. And a lot of them tend to be upper middle class, to upper class, and tend to be filled with a lot of people who've never really struggled in their life, and a result are really stupid to the darker sides and elements of reality, let alone the fact that a lot of the people in positions of power who are left wing people want to have guns banned because a lot of them are kind of stupid, and all. Well, not even stupid, they just have an agenda. More like they have an agenda for that matter, okay? So those two combinations is the reason why we have so much issues, for that matter, when it comes to this whole idea of trying to ban guns, okay? So when it comes to this situation, this tragedy where some person had some beef with people in the NFL, and he, and stuff, you know, the people who work there or something, and he just deliberately went in and shot people or something. The truth of the matter is, this situation is obviously a tragedy and should have never happened, and is clearly being used as a way to push an agenda on people, for that matter, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, as I'm certain we are all aware, when it comes to this whole gun control issue, there's so many different ways in general you can kill people, which is the biggest talking points for the people who are for guns have made for a long period of time. Sorry, the light is in my eyes, so I was acting a bit up. But anyway, back to what I was saying. you know um the truth of the matter is this whole thing has been used as a beacon for a long period of time, um, as a way to push for guns to be banned whenever these mass tragedies happenings. Yet there's so many different ways to kill people. There's not long ago, even here in Canada, there was a situation where a car went in and just brushed in and just killed a bunch of people, easily 11 people. Should we ban cars? There is a situation, there are quite a few situations throughout the world where someone took a knife and killed a bunch of people. Should we ban that? And even there's a lot of things out there that could be used as explosives that you can get at your local Home Depot or whatever type of store that can kill a lot of people. Should we ban all those type of chemicals and stuff? And that's exactly what I'm trying to fucking get at here. The truth of the matter is, when it comes to this world we live in, we have people who are trying to push agendas, okay? And the reason why a lot of these people are trying to push these agendas to ban guns is because, simply put it, they want more power. They want to be able to do all sorts of things and be able to get away with it because they know the population, of course, are not going to fucking do anything back, okay? And of course, when you bring up these things, people always want to bring up the conspiracy theories about the Illuminati, and think, oh, you're one of those people who believe in Illuminati and this and that. It's not even a case of the Illuminati. It's just simply a case of power hungriness, which the Illuminati stuff has some stuff that's kind of suspicious, but we're not talking about that here right now, in honesty. We're talking about fucking common sense. And the truth of the matter is, when it comes to this situation, the truth of the matter is, when it comes to this, what's going on right now, the truth is, this is just being used as a way to control people because the people in positions of power want to do all sorts of things. A lot of them, if you actually do background checks, come from not only privileged families, a lot of them have a history of being bullies anyway and putting people down and talking shit about people in the first place. For that matter, to put it bluntly, and bullying people. Like, for example, Mitt Romney, yes, he is Republican, but still a good example of how a lot of politicians were like before they became powerful, was a known bully. He used to bully people and he used to um do bad things. And one time he apparently took a gay kid and forced him to get his hair washed or something, which was of course fucked up, even if you don't approve. Personally, I myself don't approve of the gay lifestyle. But in the end of the day, if someone wants to live that life, then you can't stop them. And obviously hurting them is off the limits, but he did that. And the truth of the matter is, for that matter, he did that type of stuff. And a lot of politicians are known in general, actually, if you do background checks, whether it's Republican or left wing, for being bullies. And so a lot of them have that personality in the first place. So they like to bully people and they like to do things that give them power. And the truth of the matter is, having guns prevents them from kind of wanting to do anything. So that's why they're trying to take away our guns. And the truth of the matter is, in the end of the day, there shouldn't be something that prevents people from being able to take away their guns in the first place, because I don't see what the point of it is. Okay, which brings me to the second point of this video, which is, of course, talking about how we can resolve the gun control issue. Because the truth of the matter is, this whole issue about this gun rights issue, more like, actually, is that most of this stuff could literally be resolved by using common sense. Because the truth of the matter is, as I'm certain we are all aware in this world, there's a difference between someone who who clearly is mentally ill and someone who's an everyday Joe. Like, yes, I'm gonna use a term, infamous term, Joe Sixpack. There's a difference between Joe Sixpack and someone who's mentally ill and has ill intent, okay? The truth of the matter is, most gun control issues can be resolved, or gun rights issues could be resolved by simply having a limit on people being able to obviously purchase very powerful weapons. Well, not even very powerful weapons, in honesty. Fuck. Sorry, my bad. My bad. The light's getting my eye. But anyway, but when it comes to this whole gun rights issue, the truth of the matter is there should obviously be basic restrictions. Like, for example, does an everyday civilian really need a fully automatic weapon, like an AK-47? For example, does a everyday person, for example, as well, um, need a weapon, that is able to, easily just break someone sometimes literally in half if you hit them in the right place, due to how powerful it is. Does an everyday person need that, in honesty? Because the truth of the matter is, having a gun and using a gun is something that is a human right, okay? And I think actually, if you use common sense, you realize actually people in a lot of places in America need it, especially when you live in places that are rural and it literally takes hours to get to the nearest settlement, for that matter, okay? So if you obviously have a group of coyotes or a group of animals, for that matter, having a powerful weapon is a good way to obviously protect those people, for that matter, okay? Like a rifle or something. So the truth of the matter is, having weapons in the first place is something that is very important and something that is very needed, for that matter, okay? So when you look at it in the end of the day, when it comes to compromising between one thing or the other, all we need to do to resolve this whole gun solution issue is just simply placing restrictions on how powerful a weapon is, and obviously creating better restrictions on who's able to get it, which will prevent people from being able, you know, to get it and hurt people who obviously have mental health problems. Because the truth of the matter is, about most people have mental health problems and people who would even want to kill a group of people. Most people who tend to do things like that in general, whether they're just evil or just someone who has mental health problems, whatever, because they're being bullied or stuff. Most people who tend to do things like that, if you actually know anything about mental illness and more specifically human nature, if they actually, are given enough time, will actually stop thinking that way. If they plan to do something one way, and obviously maybe in the next few weeks, obviously their emotional state is better, and maybe they're doing better in life, they're not going to think about it. So in short, that's the best way to resolve this gun issue, because the truth of the matter is, this whole gun rights issue has been a big mess. It's been causing problems for the past few decades, and it's something that needs to go away, because it's simply something that shouldn't be there, for that matter. Okay, because it's something that is stupid, it's dumb, and it can be easily resolved. So in short, that is what we need to do, instead of relying on all these gimmicks and stuff, us the general population, like banning guns, to think that we're going to end mass shootings, because the truth is, all we need is better restrictions, and so on and so forth. So that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm out. So bye.